Chapter 1: Swimming and Water Survival.
History does not record when swimming first began. Everybody knew that it is a very old skill, probably as man himself. Some scholars believe that man learned how to swim as a result of his accidental immersion in deep water, or perhaps man first learned to swim for survival as early as 900 BC. There is that man and the ability to swim as indication of pictures found on the wall of a cave people swimming. Through history, there is mention of bathing for hygienic, military, and a pleasurable purpose. It is believed that written instruction in swimming was first given in Egypt as early as 16 BC.
Babylonian bas-reliefs and Syrian wall drawings point to very early swimming skills among humans. The most ancient and famous of drawings depicting men swimming are to be found in the Khyber Desert. They are estimated to be about 6,000 years old. The Nagoda bas-relief also has paintings of swimmers that date back some 5,000 years. Many of the ancient drawings and paintings come from what is now Italy. The oldest date back 2,600 years, belonging to the Etruscans of Antarctica, an ancient tomb in Greece. Depict swimming and diving scenes and date back 2,500 years. In the late 1920s and early 1930s, swimming was first included in college and physical education. The University of the Philippines and the Philippines Women's University were the first schools to have swimming pool and to make swimming as part of the curriculum. These schools held competitive swimming meets and competition gradually increased. On 1934, women have participated in every national championship. Since the time, Philippine women swimmers have consistently improved their records and have made very credible showing in Asian swimming competition. Classification of swimming strokes: competitive strokes, survival or resting strokes. Freestyle. Of all swimming strokes, the crawl freestyle is the most popular, the fastest, most efficient stroke, and beginners find it the easiest to learn. The technique involved in this swimming stroke is pretty simple. Swimmers float on their belly in the water and propel themselves by rotating the arms in a windmill motion and kicking the legs in a fluttering motion. The difficult part of this swimming technique is the coordination of breathing while performing the strokes, since the face remains in the water almost of the time. The crawl freestyle swimming technique. The arm strokes. The arms should be moved alternatively in a rotating windmill type of motion. In order to swim in a straight line, each arm should be extended to full reach and pulled with equal force through the water. When under the water, the arms should be moved to form an S pattern. During recovery, while the hands should be cupped, the hand in the wrist should be relaxed. The leg movements, the legs are kicked alternatively in a fluttering motion. The knees should be bent slightly. The ankles and feet should be relaxed. For maximum propulsion, the downward kicking motion should be emphasized. How to breathe. The stroke is begun by raising one arm, and as the shoulder is raised, the head should be turned to the side to take a breath. Backstroke is essentially the crawl stroke in its reverse form, with the swimmer's head back turned to the water. Alternately, one arm is lifted, palm facing outward from the leg, and is brought up behind the head while the other arm pulls the body through the water. A flutter kick is used, similar to the crawl, except that the swimmer float on their back in the water. The arms are moved in a similar alternating windmill motion, and the legs are kicked in a flutter motion. The two basic techniques of a backstroke are that the arms are moved with equal force for swimmers swimming off towards one side, that the body should be rolled from one side to the other, and the arm should be extended to their utmost reach for swimmers to propel forwards. The backstroke swimming technique, the arm strokes. The arms should be moved alternatively in a windmill pattern of movement as they rotated. The hands should be cupped, and when it comes out of the water, the thumb should become outwards. When under the water, the arms should be moved to form as S pattern. The leg movement. Like in the crawl, the legs are kicked in fluttering motion alternatively. The knees are bent slightly. The ankles and feet should be relaxed. However, unlike the crawl, for maximum propulsion, the upward kicking motion should be emphasized. How to breathe. The head should be kept pacing. Since the head is out of the water at all time, the breathing has coordination with the strokes of arms or legs compared to the other swimming strokes. Hence, you can devise a pattern of breathing that you find comfortable. Breaststroke is the oldest known swimming strokes. It is one of the 4 strokes used in competitive swimming, but it is also very popular for leisure swimming. In this stroke, the arms and legs more symmetrically. The arm strokes. The arms should be kept overhead when starting the stroke. Then the arms should be brought towards the chest, pulling on the water. The hands should be kept cupped. Take the arms back to the starting position. The leg movement, the knees should be brought up to the chest. Then the legs should be thrust straight and backwards. The legs should be snapped together in order to push the water as well as propelling you forward, akin to a frog kick. How to breathe. A breath should be taken each time an arm stroke is made. Butterfly. In the variation of the breaststroke known as the butterfly, both arms are brought forward together over the water and then brought backward simultaneously. The movement of the arms is continuous and is accompanied by an undulating movement of the hips. The leg kick, called the dolphin kick, is a hip-like downward motion of the unseparated feet. The butterfly swimming technique, the arms should be moved together, pulling through the water while the hands are kept cupped. The palms should be faced outwards and pressed in a downward as well as outward movements. The leg movements, the knees should be kept together in slight bend, then the knees thrusting movement, while the feet are whipped downwards. For each arm stroke, 2 kicking movements should be performed. How to breathe. A breath should be taken at the culmination of each stroke of the arms. Elementary backstroke. In a swim stroke that expends minimal energy with simple arm and leg movements, this backstroke doesn't require any complicated breathing technique. Since the swimmer's head never goes underwater, a real view of elementary backstrokes. Steps. Float on your back with your arms and legs at your sides. Throw your knees up toward your chest. At the same time, throw your up along your sides, bending them at the elbows so that your hands are almost in your armpit. Kick your legs out and apart, then quickly squeeze them together. They should end up straight with your toes pointed. Extend your arms like an airplane and then squeeze them down against your sides. Coordinate your arms and legs so that both go up, out, and together, all at the same time. Glide and repeat. Slide strokes. The safety strokes all lifeguards must master, but also offers recreation swimmers more variety in underwater movement and for survival rescue. Is a swimming stroke wherein the swimmer lies on one side. It is helpful as a life-saving technique and is often used for long-distance swimming. The Trajan, a combination of side and freestyle swimming style for survival swimming. A swimming stroke sometimes known as the racing stroke or the East Indian stroke. It named after the English John Trajan.